Hi everybody, today we're going to make some carnivore cake pops. I'm Anita from Ketogenic Woman, and this is my channel where I show you how I've lost almost 150 pounds following an animal-based ketogenic diet. Okay, today we are making cake pops, which don't sound carnivore, but they are. One is going to be more animal-based, relaxed carnivore. The other is going to be very strict carnivore, so, you know, don't despair. There's not going to be any sweeteners in it or any extra ingredients. So we'll see how that one goes too. All that you need for this is something, like we're going to make them kind of a pemmican type thing, and stick a stick in it, and we've got cake pops. So let me tell you about the animal-based one. It is going to have in it a carnivore bar. Now, you can use regular carnivore bars, just the plain salted. I've done it before with just the plain salted. In fact, I use the plain salted when I make carnivore ice cream. I chop up just a little piece of the plain salted and mix it in, and it tastes like cookie dough. You don't need the sweetener. Or you can use honey salted, of course. Today I'm going to use apple pie. I finally got my apple pie box. It came late because I'm in Canada and things get held up at the border, but here it is, and I'm very excited. So let me show you this first one with the bar. And like I said, if you weren't lucky enough to get the apple pie bar, which does have carbs, so you know, it really depends on what your particular food plan is. The other ones, you know, have little to no carbs, so just do what is right for you. So it's going to have this in it. It is going to have 1/3 cup of cream cheese. I think that's it. I think that's all I'm going to put in it. Some people add other things, you know, like chopped fruit. I don't do fruit, so I'm not going to add chopped fruit. Or chopped nuts if you're keto. You can certainly do something like that. Sugar-free chocolate chips. You can make it almost like a cookie dough cake pop. You can do all kinds of things with it. But I'm going to try to keep it really simple. I need scissors. Let's open this up. The first thing I want to do with this is chop it up. I'm going to get it in little tiny pieces here. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the apple pie bar and wondering what the heck is in that, it is grass-finished beef is the first ingredient, grass-finished tallow, raw honey, organic raw apple, organic cinnamon, organic nutmeg. We will post this card on the video so that you can see them for yourself. I would give these to my kids and my grandkids, no problem. Myself, I have to be careful with stuff like this. So if I can use it in a recipe as opposed to just eating a bar, that is way better, because I could eat one of these little cake pops that I'm going to make. I'm only getting a couple of carbs as opposed to 12 carbs, which is what is in the bar. That may be too much for some of you to get 12 carbs, so make it into a recipe. I use these bars sometimes to make a cheesecake crust as well, and maybe I'll do another video on that if people want it. You can let me know in the comments below. But today we're making the cake pops, so I'm going to get this tiny. We want really small pieces. Okay. And I'm going to put that in this bowl. And then I'm going to put my cream cheese in here. All I'm going to do now is just use my spoon to blend this together so that it's just all one big mushy mix here. Now, when I make this particular recipe using the plain bar or the honey bar, the honey salted bar, I do mix in a little bit of cinnamon, but this apple bar does already have organic cinnamon and nutmeg in it. So I'm going to skip that. I'll taste a little pinch of it just to see if I think it needs any. I don't think it will though. Okay, we have our mixture here. I'm just going to taste a little bit. No, it doesn't need cinnamon. That's good. So I'm not going to add anything else to it. You can be creative. I mean, people can add bacon bits or chopped dates or like I said, chopped fruit, you know. I mean, I'm assuming that whoever is going to make this one is going to be more animal based and allow that kind of thing in their plan. Especially if you're making it for kids or spouses or whatever. So this is a 1 tablespoon scoop. I'm thinking I probably will get 4 or 5 cake pops out of this, and I'm going to put them in here for a moment. Put them ball size down. You can make them bigger if you want and have fewer of the cake pops. It's pretty sticky. It's not coming out that well. Okay, yeah, it looks like I'm gonna get 5. This last one might be a little bigger. So that is the first one. I couldn't find my cake pop sticks, so I got from the dollar store, I got some cocktail picks. And they didn't have cake pop sticks either. You could, I guess, use a long toothpick, but I thought these looked kind of fancy. Those in there. I'm hoping they're going to be sturdy enough to, when I pull these out, that they'll hold. Okay, so there's our animal-based ones. So how are we going to make the carnivore ones? I've got tallow here. So this tallow is partially melted. That's the consistency you want. I'm going to whip it with my electric mixer. Okay, so I have my tallow in here. I'm gonna whip it first, and then I'm going to add some dehydrated ground beef to it. Potentially, I might add some cream cheese. It depends on the consistency. This I have not done before with the cake pop idea. To whip tallow, you want it melted but not liquid, like not clear. You want it sort of looking milky like it does. So I'm not sure how long this will take, but with this, I use my big stand mixer. Okay, so it's a lot bigger in volume, so that's good. This is half a cup of dehydrated ground beef. I am gonna do a separate video on how to do this because this is really useful stuff to have around. And you can just keep it in a jar in your pantry. You don't have to even refrigerate it. But the key is you have to get it completely dry. So this is completely dry, half a cup. This was 1 cup of tallow, and I'll just show you. It was just a beef tallow that I got from Amazon. This is my emergency tallow because I always keep tallow in the fridge from what I've been cooking. But if I haven't been eating much beef lately, you know, I'm doing sardines and fasting and things like that, I run out of the tallow. So, which is what happened here. Okay, let's get that in there. And we're gonna mix that in. I think this is going to work without adding cream cheese, but I do need to firm this up in the fridge for a little bit. Actually, I'll put it in the freezer for about 10 minutes because I won't be able to make balls out of it. But once it hardens up a little bit, I will be able to roll this into a ball. I do want to add some salt, 1/4 teaspoon, Redmonds fine salt here. If you have something else you like, go ahead, whatever you like. Yeah, it's right amount, perfect. This is going to go into the freezer for 10 minutes. Then we'll come back. I'll make balls like that, put the sticks in, then we freeze it for a little while and we'll do a taste test. All right, 10 minutes in the freezer. These are pretty firm. I think they're gonna be firm enough. Going to do the same thing. Hopefully I have enough little depressions here to get them in there. I think I'm gonna have more than 5 though. I think this might work out perfect. Maybe 15 minutes. They're a little soft. So I would try them for 15 minutes in the freezer, but it works still. So, it's really good. I'm surprised at how good the tallow ones are. Okay, we're gonna get these in here. Now, what I have done with cake pops before is the final step. You know, you can dip them in some kind of liquid like these. You could dip in melted coconut oil, and then it'll harden and it will form kind of an icing. I don't know what I would do with the tallow bites, the tallow balls here. But yeah, you can use your imagination and figure it out. I'm trying to go as clean as possible, but look at that. So we have 5 Carnivore Bar Apple Pie Cake Pops, and we have 7 Plain Jane Tallow and Ground Beef Cake Pops. They need to go in the freezer until they're frozen solid. I'm gonna say 30 minutes or so at least. Then we'll give them a taste test. We'll be right back. Okay, here we are with our cake pops. They firmed up. This was about 40 minutes in the freezer. They will also firm up in the fridge, but it will take a little longer. And I would personally keep them in the freezer anyways. I will be taking these out of the mold and just putting them in a little container, even a little baggie will do it. And then take them out, you know, just before you want to eat them. So let's give it a try. This one is the Carnivore Bar Apple Pie Cake Pop. That's the one there. And it works just as well with just the salted or the honey salted. Any of the Carnivore Bar flavors will make this cake pop. But this one is a little more maybe for a special occasion because of the cinnamon and apple and everything. So let's give it a try. I like that one. It kind of tastes, because of the cream cheese, it tastes a little bit like apple cinnamon cheesecake, which is nice. It's a nice little treat. I mean, I myself personally would only eat 1 or 2 in a day because, you know, keep them in the freezer or something like that so that they're not so tempting. Because, you know, the thing with that is that for me, someone who has that addictive personality, those might prove to be, you know, beckoning me. So, which is fine. Not everybody is like that. So let's try one of the tallow ones. So remember, this is tallow and dehydrated ground beef, salt, nothing else. Let's see how this one goes. I love it, even though it's not sweet. To me, the salt really makes it. There's something about it. It's a little a little snacky still because of that salt. And you got the creaminess of the tallow and the crunchy ground beef bits in there. I mean, what's not to like? This could be eaten on Lion Diet. This is great. I would certainly eat this on Lion Diet. I'd have no problem with that. So there's lots of variations you can do with this. Just use your imagination. If you are just doing carnivore, this one here, you can add little bacon bits in there. You can add other, you know, like maybe some crispy brisket, leftover meats, just crisp it up in the air fryer. There's just so many things you could do with that one. Just all the meat you want, salt, different flavors even. Put cheese in, you know, whatever. But there's so much variety that you could do there. And this one here, which is more of a treat with the apple pie bar. If you are keto or, you know, very animal-based or relaxed carnivore, chopped up dates, you know, sugar-free chocolate chips, dip it in something, cocoa powder. You could make it more of a chocolate flavor. All kinds of things you could do with that too. So whatever your imagination can come up with. Frankly, this one here made with the Carnivore Bar is sweet enough, like just with the apple pie bar. But you know, that's me. I know that other people might want it to be sweeter. You could put a little bit of honey in it or some allulose or something like that. I'm more than, I mean, it's more than sweet enough just the way it is for me. So just do what's right for you. The carnivore bars, I will have the links below For that, you do get 10% off with my link, and that includes the monthly subscriptions, or however, I don't really know much about the subscriptions, but the discount also applies to those. And so that will be below, and the other little things that I use in the video, I usually put all those links below. I do get comments, people asking me, well, where do I buy this or that? I do try to put everything below, so check there. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you give these a try and let me know how you like them and what kind of variation that you made on this. Oh, thank you Carnivore Bar for sending me the apple pie and of course the apron. I love the apron. Thank you. See you guys next time.